Hey, welcome back to Shane's Main Shop. Today, I'm going to show you how I cut the handles in a cutting board. Now, I've already made this cutting board, but I'm going to cut a groove in here like this, so when it's laying flat on the countertop, you can reach in there and pick it up. It's a pretty sizable cutting board, so it's, it has some weight to it. And I'll also show you in this video how I round over the edges, basically putting the finishing touches before we do the final sanding. So I have a blade in there that cuts on the top and on the sides. But what I do is I put marks on this sacrificial board here because it's cutting into that as well. But I don't want it to go completely into my cutting board. I want to have it, the cut beyond, so there's actually an opening. So this is a sacrificial board here, so it's cutting a little bit into that, and the rest of it's cutting the cutting board. And I just lay the cutting board on there. I'll try and do it without running it. I line it up with the line, and then I plunge it. Let me back up so you can see here. So I have it at an angle lined up, and I plunge it down in, cut it like this, and then when I get to the end, I lift it back up out, and then I turn around and do the other side. I cut these grooves in, and what I'll do is go back and sand it all up. I will chisel out these little sharp corners and then clean everything up. But we're going to move on to rounding over all of the edges now. So I'll set the camera up and show you that as well. I actually went and made these cuts a little bit deeper than they were. So it's a little bit bigger finger hole there to get your grip on it. But basically now I'm going to trim up these edges here because it's a round bit. So I'm just going to clean those up a little bit. Then of course we'll go on to routering over the corners. There. Basically I'm just going to get this right on the edge there and clean up that little tip right there. And do the same thing on this one. Just a little bit of finishing touches. That up. You want a good sharp chisel for this. I don't have stopped holes drilled in this table, so I just put that board there, and I can just set this in here like so, clamp it, and I'm good to go, and I can router the edges. So I could change the bit in that table router and do it on that, but I have another one here that already has a round. Since I do use these two bits a lot, I leave that one in there, and I leave this one in here, and then I can grab another router if I'm going to be changing over bits. But this bit is set to the depth that I want it at, so it's just going to round over the edges and just clean this up and make it look a little bit nicer. So I'll let the camera roll and show you how I do that. I'm going to go ahead and flip this over and repeat the process, and then I'll show you what it looks like after I'm done with that. Alright, so that's all sides done as far as around the edge. I didn't do it in the handle spot here because I don't want that rounded over. You want to be able to reach under and have a little bit of grip without your fingers sliding off like it would if it was rounded over. The rest of this I'm going to touch up by hand sanding, and we'll get it all cleaned up nice all the way around, do the edges, and I might even round over these corners, but I can do that with sandpaper. So we're going to go ahead and finish this up, and then it'll just be treated with mineral oil. We'll let that soak on this for several days before we even flip it to do the other side, and you get yourself a solid cutting board. And this is made out of, majority of this is tiger maple, and I think there's a piece of walnut in there, and then this red heart in there as well. I think it's called, maybe even called babinga. But this is all hardwood. This thing weighs a significant amount of weight. But I've been making a bunch of these with some scrap wood, so hopefully this helped you out a little bit if you're using a router, or at least give you an idea of how I do these, even though I don't think I've showed too many cutting boards in my videos. Hey, thanks for swinging by Shane's Main Shop. Please like, subscribe, come back often for more videos. Have a great day, and we'll see you in the next video.